logical fallacy that is very common, even amongst the elementary school kids, is the bandwagon logical fallacy. The bandwagon logical fallacy is when someone presumes or they purport that something must be true or good or bad or untrue just because a majority of people that they see or in the current environment happen to have the same opinion. So if everyone believes this, then it must be true because everybody believes it, or vice versa. This is nonsense. This is a logical fallacy that a lot of people fall for, especially a lot of people who are not critical thinkers and people who lack some of the skills I'm going to point out right here in this video. Number one, this is the everyone fallacy. Everybody thinks this, and you're the only one who doesn't think that. That means you must be wrong. You see a bunch of people disagreeing with you, and only you believe in this. That must mean that you're wrong. There are people who are 65 years old who think like this. There are people who are 6 years old who think like this, which means all of you who are somewhere in between, you sometimes may have been guilty of this. And if you're not guilty of it, I guarantee you had it used against you. So next thing is, in order for you to fight against the bandwagon logical fallacy, you must have the internal fortitude to stand on your square and stand on your position, even if you're the only one in that position. So if you're in a classroom with 30 students in it and 29 of them want to go this way and you say, no, we should go that way, you have to have the fortitude to stand on this. For example, anyone who gets picked to be part of a jury in a criminal trial, the jurors are often screened to find out who has fortitude, because when they go into that deliberation room, if 8 of the jurors believe guilty and there's 1 juror who believes not guilty, that juror has to have the fortitude to stand there in front of the other 8 and say, no, I believe not guilty, and I'm not going to change my position just because you all want to go home, or because you all believe one thing doesn't mean I have to believe it just because you did. They need 9 people who think like that, because if they have anybody who will just go along with the crowd, then there's no point in you being in the jury in the first place. So they need independent thinkers who have the internal fortitude to stand on their position, even if everybody else, quote unquote, everybody else is against it. Which moves us to point number 3. This is about your disagreeableness. Any of you know anything about the big 5 personality traits? One of them is agreeableness versus disagreeable. And understand that disagreeable does not mean negative or combative, or that you can't be friends with anybody. Disagreeableness is your willingness to go against the grain of what everyone else, quote unquote, is doing, or what is normally accepted, because you believe there is a solid reason why you want to go against the grain of what's being accepted. And a lot of people do not have, again, the fortitude to be disagreeable, even if they actually disagree. So people with a high level of disagreeableness tend to play individual sports like tennis or boxing. They tend to be entrepreneurs because they're not really good at following along with what everybody else is doing. They're not good at having bosses and following other people's authority. They're usually the person who's in charge themselves, because they are willing to go against the grain of what they see already happening, and they don't care if, quote unquote, everybody disagrees with it. And it doesn't make you right or wrong to be disagreeable or agreeable. These are just personality traits, which means most people lean to one side or another. But if you want to avoid the bandwagon fallacy, these are the tools to do it. Work on your game.